Bitcoin investment. Welcome to Go Big or Go Home Forex Zambia. I'm your mentor, Thomas Telalu. My personal contact is this one which you are seeing from the screen below. So today, I want us to discuss about Bitcoin investment. With this lesson under Bitcoin investment, just like any other asset, a Bitcoin can be invested. But today we're not learning how to buy and sell Bitcoins. We want to find out the value of the Bitcoin. Once we find the value of the Bitcoin, we can invest in this cryptocurrency. So before we go very further, I'll go to the price chart where Bitcoin, or the graph, the representation of the price of Bitcoin. Okay. As you know, this asset is started from zero. The cryptocurrency Bitcoin, it started from zero. Just like we have assets like gold. The first day gold was opened, it was at zero price, and then it continued to rise and gain in value like an asset. So there is physical gold and there is electronic gold, which is being traded at the forex market. Same applies to the Bitcoins. We have physical Bitcoins and we have also crypto wallets, which holds Bitcoin in electronic. So this asset, it started from zero, or where it was open, and then it started to gain in value. And if you can check the years, it started back then in 2009, and then it continued to gain in value. In 2018, it reached 18,000 wealthy. Then it fell down a little bit, and then it gained the highest price. This asset, from the day it was opened, the highest price it went was 68,000 wealthiness of the price. So right now, the current price where it is fluctuating Bitcoin, it's at 17,560. So we already have the highest point which this asset went before, and we have the current price and where it opened from zero. So if you have seen this drop here of Bitcoins, if we want to invest in this asset and make money, how can we do that? We're not going to be buying and selling Bitcoins, like I said, at the spot market, at the forex market, no, but we are going to be investing in Bitcoin by holding, by buying physical Bitcoin in whichever wallets which you may wish to. So before we go that further, we first have to find the value of Bitcoin to say, what is the value of Bitcoin, or how much, if I buy the Bitcoin with so much money, what is the wealthiness of it? So I'll go to Google. This is Google. One Bitcoin in Zambian kwacha, its wealthiness at the current price is 275,233. So this is just one Bitcoin, but to most of you, you cannot manage to have one Bitcoin at that price. Okay, so let's reduce the values to the standard of majority of people who can participate in investing in Bitcoins. Okay, let's say 0.0001. 0.0001 0. Let me add even another 0. Okay. So the value of this Satoshi after the decimal point is no longer 1 Bitcoin. No, they call them Satoshi. When after we cross the decimal point, it stands as the whole 1 Bitcoin. But after the decimal points, they are like the way you call cents in dollars, ngwes in Zambian kwacha. In Bitcoins, they call them Satoshi. Okay. So this 0.00001 Satoshi, purchasing it at this current price in ZMK or Zambian kwacha, it cost 2.2 kwacha 75 ngwe. This is the cost. If we want to find the value of this same Satoshi of Bitcoins, let's check in dollars. How much wealth is it? Let's check the currency. You can put the currency of your country so that you know how much wealth it is. Let's start with even the euro. In euro, this Satoshi of Bitcoin, it cost 0.16. In dollars, let's check the USD, the American dollar, how much it is. United States dollar. Okay, yeah, this one. So this Satoshi here, it cost 0.17 cents. Okay, 0.17 cents. So to whichever country you are, just change, you find the value of that Bitcoin in your currency, in your country currency. Okay, so in this example, I'll use ZMK as my currency, which we're going to use as examples. Okay, so the current price at this Satoshi of Bitcoins, it is the wealthy so much. So now if I want to buy this Satoshi of Bitcoins at this price, after I buy it and then I hold, remember, this is the current price, and then this is the highest price which Bitcoin went. The difference between the highest price and the current price, the difference between this is 51,249. That is the difference. So what I'm going to do now, for me to find if I buy these Bitcoins at this much, and then I hold until it gains value to this price, how much am I going to have at that time? So let's get this number. I'll get my calculator. We're going to punch in 51, 249. Okay, after the decimal point, we may include it as well. Then we multiply it. We're going to multiply this difference by a 2.78. 2.78. We multiply it by 2.78. Let's find the answer. So the wealthy of that 2 kwacha 78 ngwe, when Bitcoin gains in value, so I'll write this example down here, the wealthy of 2.78. The wealthy of 2.78, when Bitcoin gains in value, it's going to make this amount, which is 142,473. So this is the amount of wealthy of Bitcoins when it reaches this price level here. It goes back to this high. That would be the wealthiness of purchasing this Bitcoin at this current price, just with 2 kwacha, you're going to make this amount of money. You're going to make this amount of money. Okay? You're going to make this amount of money just with 2 kwacha. Let's change the value. Let's say I'm someone who has, I want to purchase Bitcoins wealthy. Let's put 10, or let's put it reaches maybe 100 kwacha. It reaches maybe 100. Okay. Okay. Let's even just put this one. It's enough. I purchase wealthiness of Bitcoins, Satoshis of them, this much, with the 277 kwacha. I purchase Bitcoins with this amount, which I have. I'm going to have so much wealthy of Bitcoins. So if this amount, I multiply this amount by the difference in price when it gains in value. I multiply it by this difference. How much am I going to have? That is the question. Okay. So let's get this value again. Go to our calculator. Okay. We multiply it by this much. Let me copy it. Okay. Multiply it by this much. How much am I going to have? Do you see the value of, or the million which someone is going to make? This is the next example. This is in the next example. By investing 277.64, 277.64. How much are you going to have in Zambian kwacha? You're going to have 14,228,855 kwacha. So this amount of money, it's going to be, or this amount of wealthy of Bitcoins, when it gains in value, you buy physical Bitcoins in your crypto wallets, you buy them, you exchange your kwachas, you purchase Bitcoins, and then we wait for Bitcoin, it gains in value. It goes up here. By waiting until it gains in value, it reaches this price level, or this high, the highest price it went before. This is the amount of money which you're going to be wealthy at that time. So what are you going to do after, let's say it reaches that time, it reaches that high, you have this much wealthy of Bitcoins. You're going to sell it to someone who needs Bitcoins at that time. And they're going to give you back in exchange, you're going to have this 14 million. So investing in Bitcoins, it needs patience. Physical buying and holding until it gains in value, it needs patience. Why do I say so? Let's go back to our charts. If you can look from the time it was 0 until it reaches here, how many years passed for it to reach or to raise? Almost from 2012, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, almost 5 years passed. After this high, how many years passed again for it to reach this high? This was 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022. 4 years. 4 years passed. That's when it was able to create or to gain in value. So if we invest this time, we don't know either it will raise in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, or 4 years, or 5 years. Since it is an asset, just like gold is, it is a currency which people, they are able to participate or trade with it or exchange goods with. This high here, one day it will reach back to it. So to find the value, first we subtract the difference from the current price, and then we go and check on Google the worthiness of the amount which you have, and then you convert it to Bitcoins. So the next question which is going to be is, where am I going to find the trusted Bitcoin wallet? There are a lot of them on the internet. So what I would recommend is find a company which is regulated. Find a company which is regulated. Right now, even FX brokers or Forex brokers, which are regulated more than 10 years in this business, they are the best ones to invest Bitcoins with. And holding, not trading physically, no. You deposit your kwacha, you deposit into a Bitcoin wallet, and then you leave it like that. If you have a heart of becoming a long-term investor, if you have a heart of hoarding, it reaches that time, you're going to be a millionaire at that time. Look at this. This is just 277. This is a small amount. You go and make 14 million just with this. What are we sacrificing? Patience. Trusted wallets, I said we can either invest with brokers which are regulated, and or Bitcoin wallets which are also regulated at least more than 5 years or 10 years in this business, not less than 1 year. You also check either it is regulated, then we can invest Bitcoins with. So this was the lesson about Bitcoins, finding its value and how much you can purchase. The other thing is to check the time it will raise. If you invest today, then you start observing this chart. If you have seen its movement, the way it takes, after 3 years, 5 years, it's going. Sometimes you may buy here and then it drops more. Your Bitcoins will just lose value, but you not lose your money. You only make the money when it rises to this point. So technical analysis, you can use technical analysis where you are going to wish to buy the Bitcoins. Either you use a support and resistance, I don't know. You draw a support to say this was the place where they bought last time. If it drops to this point, then you gotta buy it. Or maybe you can buy at this point here. So technical analysis, you're going to do your own technical analysis. And then lastly, you hold. There was a guy on the internet when Bitcoin was just introduced. He bought it with 17 cents. 17 cents that time. It was almost less than $1. And then that guy, the computer which he was using, he lost it, or he took it to the garbage. And then when Bitcoin raised to this price, he was supposed to be a millionaire in dollars. But eventually, since he lost the computer which had the details, which had the cryptocurrency wallet, he wasn't able to book profit at this price level. So what I would recommend, since this is a long-term investment, you can get your pen and your paper, you write down the broker or the wallet which you're going to invest in, the password, all details about that account, then you keep it safe. The time this thing will raise again to that price level, you go back and log in and sell them to someone who need Bitcoins at that time, and then you go and make $1 million. So this was the lesson about Bitcoin investment, buying and being patient until it gains value. So I was your mentor, Mr. Thomas Delalu, signing out.